everyone, this is Sushmita speaking to you all. In this video, we are going to discuss about a play named Otto da Fee, which is written by Elias Canetti. If you want more kind of information, do check out the blog which I have given in the description box. And if you have any doubt, if you want to ask anything, don't hesitate to message in the comment section, or you can use the Instagram as well. I have given the IDs in the description box. Without any delay, let's move on into this particular play, which is written by Elias Canetti. So this particular novel is being published in the year 1935. Theme of power, knowledge, and the societal decay. So it mainly focuses on these three concepts. And to talk about this background information, this title, the Otto da Fee, the original title of this is Die Blinden. That is the original title, and this particular play is considered to be a literary achievement in 20th century. And this talks about this psychological depths and the philosophical depths of human behavior, the power, the obsession of life. And this particular author, Elias Canetti, his lifetime is from 1905 to 1994, and he was a Jewish descent, and he won a Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1981. And to know more, just visit our blog and you'll get a number of information for this play. And this particular title, the title justification is the Otto da Fee is derived from the Portuguese term which means the act of faith. So what does Otto da Fee means? Act of faith, which is a Portuguese term. And the original title is Die Blinden, right? So this is a German title which means the blending. So this is the difference. You can just note. And to talk about the summary, you can see this particular character, Dr. Peter Kien, is a protagonist of this particular protagonist or hero of this particular play, where he lives in Vienna. The place called Vienna, and this has three parts. And this first part talks about the obsession of Dr. Peter Kien, and what does he do. Because of the obsession, he marries a person who joins as a maid for to take care of his library, and what happens after that. So that kind of depiction is there in part 1, and in part 2 the isolation of Ken will be stated. And because of the isolation, he goes into the hallucination world, and the mental trauma in the third part. Because of the mental trauma, what does he do? So that is the depiction over the themes. So to talk about the themes, obsession and isolation, knowledge versus wisdom, power and manipulation, and identity and alienation are the themes focused. And to talk about these characters, the entire play revolves around these characters. First one is Dr. Peter Kien. And now don't forget to note all the spellings, because now Die Blinden, they'll give 3 options and they give 3 different spellings. So make sure that you know the spellings as well. And doctor, if you see, D-O-C will not be there, D-O-K will be there. So make sure that you note all these. And this is the main character, the protagonist of this particular play. And you have her maid, which transforms to wife from the later part. So her name is Therese, and you have another Humdraff, which he is a chess player, Fritzler. And you have another character called George, a brother of Ken, and you come across a pawnbroker, and then Benedict Praff, a little boy's father named Fritz Metzger, and you have a maid named Maria. This setting, the play revolves around these settings. Settings is a place where the story takes place. So Vienna is the first place, then Paris, then 24 Elvis Stars of Heaven. And this particular work was being translated by C.V. Wedgwood. So you can note this for your one word. If you see the first part, the title, I just want you all to note 1, 2, 3 for your title, because title are very important, and they may give question answers for 2 marks as well. So I don't want you to miss 2 marks. So make sure that you write first title, a head without a world, a headless world, the second title, a head within the world. So that like that it will come. Okay, I just want you all to note the correct title where I have stated here. So this is the first title. a head without a world. So in this part, what happens is our protagonist, our hero, goes out for a walking every morning. With that little boy, he makes a conversation. You can see over here. So he makes a conversation. In that first conversation, this particular character, Professor Ken, asks the little boy that, do you like to read books or do you like to eat chocolate? And the boy says, I like to read books. And then the second question is, would you like to travel to foreign countries? And now the little boy replies stating that, I like India and China because India has tigers and China has huge walls which are being engraved with the Chinese letters. The boy is obsessed on going to India and China because of tigers and huge walls. So I have given it in the bracket. And the third question is, where do you live? This was asked, and the boy replies stating that I live in 24 elder stars. And the boy also says that the boy knows Professor Ken already because he has seen this Professor Ken so many times. And no, Professor Ken doesn't know the little boy because this shows that how he is obsessed in his book, how he is obsessed in his own lifestyle, and he doesn't know the people living near him. And the description of Professor Ken is given. So he is the owner of a private library which he has for himself, and he always has the habit of carrying a minute portion of book in the suitcase. And the description of the Professor Ken is also given. He has a narrow face, a stern body, and no mirror, where he doesn't have the habit of seeing mirror. And if at all he wants to see the mirror, he uses the windows of the bookshop. After he opens his own library, he walks between 7 and 8 in the morning. And then the description of the library is given. There are 25,000 volumes of book over there, and the doors are being complicated with the locks, and the hall has a umbrella and a coat stand, and he usually sits in an armchair. And now Professor Ken, what he does is he gives an advertisement in the newspaper. So advertisement stating that he needs a person to take care of the library, and so he has stated this kind of message. This you can note and write it for your 5 mark as well. Character called Therese, who is a maid first, then becomes a wife in the later part. So Therese enters after seeing this advertisement, dusts the book daily. So that is the work given to Therese, to take care of the library. So he decided that Therese can take care of the library, and he has allotted Therese to take care of his private library. Here Therese started to observe Ken very closely, and it has been 8 years. You just note this, 8 years where Therese is working on Ken's library. As a motto that prices are going up all the time, things aren't the same anymore. The description of Sunday, what Sunday people will do. All the weekdays people will run to work, but Sunday they sit and do nothing. That is, they're not even sparing some time to read book. That is what he wanted to say. And he is saying by weekdays people will run for work, and in Sundays they do nothing. And then for Ken, all the days are same, and he works in silence always. Now Ken, you can see that Ken marries Therese because he knows that Therese can handle books. Because when Therese is handling books, she wears a gloves and handles the book so well. And he decides to marry Therese. And both of them got married for a reason. That is, he married her to protect book, but she married him for his wealth. So this is the reason. And Therese took hold of the house, the entire thing, library, everything, and she throwed away Ken. So Ken is in the isolation state now. So in the second part, that is, the title is Headless World. So in this we can see that Professor Ken has been isolated, and now he is in Stars of Heaven, the place name, which is a red light district, and he meets a chess player called Fritzler, where to play chess. And now he has a motto that a person may be 12 feet tall, a person may be whichever tall, but when he is not playing a chess, which means he's a fool. So that is the motto of Fritzler. He is a hump draft. So just note that who is hump draft. Okay. Fritzler takes Ken to a pawn shop. Pawn shop is where you sell goods, right? So there he takes him, and Ken is shocked on seeing a collection of slurs. So Chillers is a rare collection of books where it has been in a pawn shop, lying in a pawn shop. And Professor Ken is in isolation state and he kinds of lives in a hallucination world where he keeps his own library in his mind. So that is why you can see this title called Headless World. And now the feature of Fritzler has been given here. His mouth is small, no forehead, ears, and a majestic nose, two black, calm, and sad eyes. This is the description of Fritzler. And you have a description of pawn shop where the name of the pawn shop is Theresianum. Main entrance, if you see, it has been arranged with jewels, gold, and silver. The floor is being arranged according to the value of objects, and the topmost floor is being arranged with shoes, coats, and postage stamps, and the sixth and the topmost floor, which is the end, it is being arranged with the books. And now in order to reach the topmost floor you have to have a ordinary staircase, and the glass doors were being badly oiled, and they have a notice board as well. So this is where we can see the headless world where Ken is isolated and he goes to the pawn shop with this dwarf, and he is being shocked on seeing this Schiller's collection. All these happens. The third part, the third title, The World in the Head. So here you can see that Fritzler tells Ken that Theresa is died. And now on seeing this name Theresianum, Ken feels that Theresa is the one who has kept this shop. All kind of hallucination, all kind of dream is been attacking Ken so badly. He is in a mental trauma thinking that this is owned by Theresa. After then you can see two characters, Ken and Pav, are being arrested for different reasons. Ken is getting arrested because he is responsible for his wife's death, but which is not true. He is living in his own hallucination, right? So that is what is true. And now Pav gets arrested because he has molested his own daughter, his own child, named Anna or Polly. After this incident, you can see that Ken receives a telegram. A telegram means a message from her brother. Now Ken is now feeling to go and visit the library. And as he visits the library, he is kind of sad on seeing the books, and now he sets the library on fire. That's what the ending quote is all about. The book ends with his laughter. The book are ending with his laughter. If you want more information, please do visit the blog page. If you have any doubt, do comment or do message us in the Instagram and get in touch with us. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe to our Come Let's Learn with Sushmita.